Hello again on a hand session again, on another hand session, and that's a difficult one. This is one of the most difficult hand positioning that you can draw. It's very perspective, a lot of perspective going on, and then the back of the hand, the wrist goes just merges or just becomes the background, and the hand is coming forward. Something of that sort. Quite difficult. Okay, let's start. Let's start by doing, first of all, let's get the hand, the design of the hand correctly. And you have the thumb here. The first two fingers, which I'm trying to simplify it and see it as a ice cream cone. Ice cream cone. Two fingers, the index finger showing forward, middle finger back. Then you have the ring finger here and the little finger there. Now the height of both the fingers, both fingers here, the ring finger and the small finger, they're at the same height, where they actually meet with the knuckles here. Then you have the end of the hand here. The hand ends up here, and as I said, the wrist becomes the background. Now I'm going to add some darks here just to show, first of all, it's the knuckle on the first index finger. It's not actually seen a lot because it just, as the finger moves forward, when the finger moves forward, the knuckle disappears. You see, you can see it here, you can see there, but you cannot see the index finger. So there you have the knuckle just merges back. Then you have the index finger here moving and doing that delicate move towards the left, and it's a bit fatter here, there, and here we've got the, as I said earlier on, the thumb. Thumb just merges here with the background, and a little bit more emphasis on the middle finger. Then you can see more knuckle here, and the ring finger here. Ring finger coming forward. That's where the finger meets the bone structure here. Then where the two bones they meet somewhere here, and these two, which is the index finger and the ring finger, they end up almost touching each other. And a pinky, small finger, which is actually almost, it's almost like in, it's not seen there, it's vaguely worked on. And a darker tonal value here. And as the wrist moves away, there you have it. Becomes the background. A bit of a tonal value here on the ring finger. Middle finger is the darkest, and this hand is masterfully drawn by Andreas Samarin. A beautiful drawing. So that's a good source for us to work on after the artist. And you have the nail here, thumbnail, and a middle finger continuously down here. Continues down here, and you have the thumbnail vaguely seen here. And as I said, the index finger is here. A bit less dark, so I'm trying to soften those darks. And the bone structure, this one here, which is right there. And vaguely, just vaguely, you can see where it stops and actually almost joins the index finger. Thumbnail, a little bit lighter, bigger, longer, wrinkles of the index finger, and the fleshy bit, which is this area here, and down here as well, up there, and the bone structure there. Bone structure here, all the tendons of the hand. As I move backwards, tendon of the ring finger, and a very, very soft shadow which merges and becomes background. There we are. And actually I'm going to apply a little bit of dust, charcoal dust, which I prepared early on by, as we know, grinding the charcoal on the up here on the grinder here, and we have the darks here, which they work a little bit. They will work a little bit like lines, like dark lines, like on the sandpaper, basically. Grind the charcoal on sandpaper. Now you don't have to do it with a brush. You can do those lines with a charcoal, but for more accuracy I'm using a brush, and it gives a lot softer tonal values basically. And as I said, the wrist which moves back. And a little darker tonal values here, and that merges with the background here, and the middle finger. See that the brush just gives you very, very soft tonal values, which my fingers, if I work with my fingers, I can achieve it, but it's more accurate with the brush. And I can see it from far away, so I can go back 3 feet and see what's going on. That's why also the brush is important. It gives you a different perspective, so you're not too close to the drawing. You can see from far away, well, further back, how is it going on, if it's correct, if it's not. And a darker tonal value. As the wrist moves back. And slightly darker tones here. Middle finger. Wrinkles on where the bone structures are. Little wrinkles there. Softer tone. I can add a little bit of background tonal value here, so the hand is not like disconnected with the background. And a little bit more space between the two fingers, the index finger and the thumb. So you see, if I darken the background here, where I am in this area, then I pushes the index finger forward. And a softer, darker tone, softer, darker tone of value, a little bit more distance between the index finger and the thumb. Actually, I've done them too close together, so I can actually move the thumb a little bit further out. Here, for instance. There. Okay, that's the thumbnail. Bone structure. So move the thumb a little bit further out. And spread the darks as before with the brush. Don't want to go too many times because then it loses the freshness of the first strokes. So I'm trying to keep the intervention with the brush as minimal as possible. Get the lines with the first stroke if possible. There. Okay, I think it's good. Coming back with some darks and a little bit of putty rubber, and it should be okay to move on to the next drawing. And a little bit of wrinkles here where the wrinkles when you do that move of the hand. I cannot do it here because it's hard, but yeah, the wrinkles, all the lines here, which they connect with the tendons of the hand tendons. And the highlight here. Some stronger lines, where it indicates the bone structure coming through. And here, as I said, the pinky, the small finger, is very vague there. You can barely see it. If you don't put some effort to look close, you think that it's missing. And a little bit off. There. Okay, I think it's okay, it's good. Maybe give it a darker tonal value. First of all, let's sharpen on my sandpaper here the charcoal. And give it a slightly darker tone. As that moves back, that top of the hand moves back. Okay, and soften those dark lines a little bit more. The wrinkles here reappear. That looks a bit broken here, so let's bring that index finger more to the right, because it was swinging too much to the left, so it looked a little bit broken. Middle finger here, some emphasis on the wrinkles of the middle finger here. Well, that's it really. And you have some lines which indicate the direction of the little finger. Thumbnail. Thumbnail on the little finger. There we are. And wrinkles here on the index finger. Softer lines. Where is the structure of the whole hand here? It just indicates where it ends or where it begins, if you like. And the wrist back here. And there. Okay, now for my puppy, let's indicate where the pinky stops. The original drawing is in pencil, and we are here on the charcoal. So the pencil is a lot softer, that's the nature of pencil. Charcoal is a lot darker. Well, it depends what pencil you use. If you use the Conte à Paris, then maybe not. But normally pencils are a lot softer on their darks. Here we are. And thumbnail. Do you remember we moved that more to the right? And we brought the thumb a little bit further up. These are things that you do, and you adjust as you go along. And a little bit lighter here, lighter here, indicate the lines, softer lines, not using the putty rubber because the putty rubber will be too powerful for those, will just make it too bright basically. Here I can make with my fingers will be better, so use the putty rubber very economically, then clean your fingers with your putty rubber, and that will be good enough to have cleaner fingers to use them instead of the putty rubber. Softer line here. Sorry about all these birds, you can hear them, cats. They're wild birds and wild cats, almost here. And give it a quick brush off of the pinky, which is almost not there, and of the edge of the hand, which blends with the background. There. Okay, and same here. I can blend the lines and they softly move back. They softly move back. There we are. And stop the length of this, of the ring finger, and do the lines there. And wrinkles here, wrinkle here, wrinkle here, and a line of that sort here. Okay, now let's bring back some of those lines because I took off quite a bit and I think that was a little bit exaggerated, but I can bring back some. We do say sometimes it's good to exaggerate because it creates more drama and then it looks more interesting to the viewer. Like this position of the hand is very dramatic. You never do that movement unless you're a musician and you're playing your cello or your cello, I would say, or violin, or guitar, or no, not trumpet. No, trumpet, you don't do that movement on trumpet. But yeah, guitar and cello. So that's a kind of dramatic and move, but it's beautiful. That's why it's beautiful. That's why it's special, because it's a very interesting move. You don't actually see it most of the time, unless you are on an environment which people use these movements constantly, as we said, the musicians. Okay. And now come back with a putty and do that line and the bone structure. Okay, I think it's good. Maybe that was too bright. Give it a darker tonal value and you are done. All right, see you on the next one then. Let's put some Spanish into the mix. That was a bit of longer. Hasta la próxima. Hasta la próxima, amigos. See you until the next time, and give it a brush. A brush of that sort. That softens the brightness of this in between fingers, that area, the negative space, plus creates the impression of movement. As we said, as the musician is playing his cello, I'll say with cello, then that creates movement. A little bit of an air here as it moves the hair round and round and creates those notes. Okay, I need to stop it. Hasta la próxima. Till the next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.